And then there is chocolates, cookies, frozen dessert, bakery industries, all eyeing and vying for stock season this festival. Well, to talk about all of that and the festival demand, joining us now is Hemant Malik. He's Executive Director at ITC. Mr. Malik, hi. Thank you for joining us on the show. First of all, what is your sense on the sales and the volumes of the company during the festival season?
Yes, it is festival season. We are looking for some bright spots in the market. There are two things which one sees which happens. If you were to look at the staples portfolio, I don't see much of a difference that happens because it's a consistent portfolio through the year. However, during festive season, we see a significant uplift for gifting products. And we have developed a range of gifting solutions for high-end chocolates under our brand Febel. We've also launched a mid-price chocolate brand under Fantastic, because we also felt that Febel was too premium and there is a market at the mass premium end that we can target through a new brand Fantastic, and we're launching a range of products under that. At the same time, every year we have always found a big pickup that happens on our dark fantasy range of biscuits, and every year we try to look at what kind of new packaging we can add to attract the consumer. So we are all geared up for the coming festive season.
Well, that's all about the sweet offerings. But Mr. Malik, you've also launched a new offering called Right Shift. Can you tell us more about it? I do understand that it is targeted more towards 40 and 45-year-olds plus.
So I think, we are very excited about this new entry that we have made. And, this is for the 45 plus audience, an audience that, I am certainly very much close to. And many people, and what you find today is that this 45 plus audience feels as young as ever. They are looking at, they have achieved economic independence. So food costs as a total cost is very, very small. But the big concern, they want to live life in their own terms. All that is fine. But the big concern that they have, of course, is around health, right? Because, how are you going to make sure that your health span continues to be as good as it was in your younger years? But the reality is that this is one aspect true to living as you age. If post 30, almost 3 to 5% reduction in muscle mass happens every 10 years. And post 40, almost 5 to 10% reduction in bone density happens every decade. There are changes which take place in your gut microbiota. There is an aspect which happens in terms of metabolism slowing down, as well as appetite. So these are realities. Now, the question is in terms of how do you solve for that? And I think what we have done is we have brought a range of products under our brand, the Right Shift, to address this audience, and not from selling supplements. Because we also found, we spoke to 4,000 consumers of this age cohort, and they're not very interested to look at supplements as a solution, but they go back in terms of what can be the food solutions that can be healthy and address the needs of this audience.
Oh, well, absolutely. Mr. Malik, the health needs is one part of it. And of course, nutrition is quite important. But do you think the combination of taste with nutrition is something that you worked on, and does that work?
I think you cannot sell a product if it is not tasty, a food product. So that is the key. And what we did was, in our product philosophy, we followed a principle of control, alt, delete. What is it that we can control? So, in terms of, do you control the amount of sodium and therefore the salt intake? Do you control the amount of sugar that needs to go in, right? You can control the amount of sat fat that is to be done. We looked at the alternates, right? Control alternate was in terms of, instead of sugar, we are using jaggery. Instead of normal white salt, we are using pink salt. Instead of processed grains, we are using whole grains. And the third is in terms of what do we make sure that we have deleted from this portfolio. So there are no preservatives, there will be no added color, there will be no artificial flavors, there will be no maida in the portfolio. So that has been the philosophy. But to do all this and to still make sure that your product is tasty has been the product development challenge. And I'm sure once you taste these products, you will be quite happy with that.
Well, I'm already looking forward to that, and especially in this festival season where you, in any case, are eating all those mithais. But Mr. Malik, what are the growth prospects within this segment? I do understand that health as a category really seems to be doing quite well, especially with all those innovations. But what are the numbers that you're working with?
So I think this question of health has also been evolving. A few years back, you could simply say this is health food, right? And there were these, there were certain categories which were seen to be healthy. You could have the category of the milk food drinks. You could have had category of juices and certain spaces that were, or dairy were deemed to be seen to be healthy. But there are questions which come up about in terms of amount of sugar that it has. And therefore, today, when we look at the consumer, they are looking for health in everything that they're eating, right? And you need to therefore look at what is it that I can call out for. Even if I'm having a snacks, is it got some extra protein in it? And therefore, can I look at this space itself and say, how do I make the difference? So we believe, therefore, there is a role of health in every aspect of the portfolio. And this is the fastest growing segment, provided you are making sure that you are giving taste to the product. And it is also important to call out what that difference is in your product from a health perspective, and how does it meet the consumer's need. So from a size perspective, I think if the food market is 400,000 crore, I would say at least 20% is a market size that we can look at.
So, Mr. Malik, while you have addressed the 45 plus with the new health category that you've launched, the youngsters now also are a very evolved lot. They want to know what they're eating, what nutrition it has. How are you looking at that or catering to that segment?
So I think the first part of the question in terms of youngsters too are looking for products which have got health connotations, and it's not something, but there are many of our brands that address that need. Recently we have, we very soon will be acquiring Yoga Bar, and that is a brand which is targeted to this younger generation, trying to give try to give healthy food, and that's what everybody is doing, right? And therefore we felt that this 45 plus audience is somehow getting ignored, and their needs are slightly different, and that's how this the brand right shift has come into play.
All right. So what is more in the pipeline coming in from ITC? You've told us already that Yoga Bar is something that you're looking to acquire. Is there more quest for more healthy food continue?
So from an acquisition perspective, we are constantly looking at opportunities, and it takes time to evaluate what is the right fit for you. But as always, there are discussions which are taking place. From a portfolio perspective, in fact, even in the snacking range, very soon we will be launching pop chips. They are, again, a lot of time goes in terms of making sure that what you get are very, very tasty. And Bingo pop chips should be launched very soon. We are continuously, I think we recently launched Atta with millets. That's one big space that we are finding a lot of interest in millets. There's a little confusion in terms of how you consume millets. So therefore, we actually created a multi-millet mix, which you can add it to your idli batter, you can add it to your dosa batter, you can add it to your paratha, you can add it to your chapati, and you can still get the benefit of having millets in your regular products. So there is a whole slew of products that we are constantly working on.
Clearly, Mr. Malik, from right shift to millets to yoga bars and various other things that you're adding in your portfolio, especially this festival season. So we absolutely look forward to that. And thank you so much for joining us here and sharing on what the festivals look like to ITC right now. But